guys? BigJaySayan here. I just saw Hellboy, and I have to say, I am blown away. They did something with this movie that I didn't think they'd be able to. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Originally, it was supposed to be called Rise of the Blood Queen, but they dropped the side title quick as hell. Within, I'd say, like 2-3 weeks, boom, it was gone. It was directed by Neil Marshall. It was written by Andrew Cosby. Now, Neil Marshall, he directed Tales of Halloween, which I really liked. I think it was on Netflix. He also directed Doomsday, which was a really, really good movie. Andrew Cosby is the co-creator of the show Eureka on Sci-Fi, so that's really an awesome feat. Also not credited for the screenplay, we got Christopher Golden and Mike Mignola himself. Now it stars David Harbour, Mila Jovovich, Ian Shane, Sasha Long, and Daniel Day Kim. I think that's how you pronounce it. But this movie went in a completely different direction than the first one. Now, we all know the Ron Pearlman Hellboy, and a lot of people love that one and are dedicated to it. I mean, personally, it's one of my favorite sci-fi movies. I mean, it's one of my favorite comic book movies, period. So, this one went to a completely another level. Basically, it took some of the aspects that Guillermo del Toro used in the Golden Army movie, with the whole fantasy and the creatures upping just the creature length and the creature design and everything like that. And they took this one and they blew it out of the water. Now, I'm going to not give any spoilers personally. I'm trying not to give any. I'm going to reference things here and there, but I hope to not give any spoilers that were not given away in the trailers themselves. So, hopefully, this will be a spoiler-free review. Now, as for the characters and the story, it went a completely different direction than I thought it would. And without giving anything away, it truly felt like a Hellboy comic. Honestly, because the way the story is written out, it is, and I don't think this is any giving anything away at all. It is little stories put into a bigger story. And if any Hellboy fan has read any of the comics, they have read, like, if you've read a whole entire collection of one, you'd see, like, Hellboy go from, okay, he's here, and all of a sudden, you know, he turned a corner down one alley, and then he turns left down another, and all of a sudden he's in a forest, and he's like, okay, let's just keep going. So that's what this kind of movie does. It brings in so many little side stories, but they still feel so organic, and the movie moves at such a good pace that it doesn't feel lagging or doesn't feel boring at any point or any time. And it gives you enough shocks and twists and turns that you're just like, what? Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, but the soundtrack was amazing. It was more of a I wouldn't say heavy metal. I would say a rocking soundtrack where it gave, like, really electric guitar, some good nice drums in there, but some classic songs like Rock You Like a Hurricane was in there. As for the creatures design, they stayed mostly true to all of Mike Mignola's designs, and even Neil Marshall actually worked with Mike Mignola to actually get his feel for the characters and any new designs he needed in there. You know, he put it through. Now, as for the other characters, we have two characters we have never seen before in the first two movies, which are Ben Daimio, I believe it is Daimio, I'm pronouncing it wrong, and then Alice Monogam. Now, they are two characters in the comics, and the fact that we get to see them in place of the first two we saw originally in the Ron Pearlman version, Guillermo del Toro version of Liz and Abe, we don't get to see them at all in the trailers. So whether, you know, they're in the movie or not, I'm going to leave it free for you guys to see, but they are not the two main characters at all, if you see them at all. Now, I really liked the relationship that they actually played up in the movie between Alice and Hellboy. It's actually the one that comes straight from the comics. And if you've ever, seen the comics, you've seen who the character is. You know exactly who the character is. Same with Daimyo. He is basically the same character. They just took straight from the comics and placed him in. Now they even gave origin stories to each one of them, and I'm pretty sure everyone expects an origin story for all three main characters, but they do it in such a way where it's not boring. It's like boom, 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 done, go on, and it's really, really uniquely done. I have to say this movie for me personally took my love of Hellboy and took it to a completely other level. Because this one I was really hyped to see, and even though I haven't really seen that many critic reviews so far, I have checked out Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic. Now, Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 15% based on 145 reviews, while Metacritic gives it a 31% based on 41 votes. Now, to me, that's not good enough. And I know not a lot of people are going out to see this because some people are more faithful to the Ron Pearlman version, and I loved it. I have both movies. I even have the animated movies for Ron Pearlman, and all the original cast basically reprised their role. Doug Jones reprising his role as Abe Sapien, of course. But I also have the Hellboy whole entire booklet where you can literally go break down per character, per timeline, all of that, and just see it up to a certain point. Now this movie, I also forgot to mention that this movie was actually inspired by 4 different Hellboy comics, as well as some original material here and there. Darkness Calls, The Fury and the Storm, The Storm and the Fury, Wild Hunt, and Hellboy in Mexico. That's also something I forgot to think, that we do something that we don't get to see very often. We drop straight into an adventure and we go from there. And that was something I really, really liked about this movie. Also, you're going to see so much cool designs for the creatures that, like I said, it takes what Guillermo del Toro had planned and takes it to another level completely. And I don't know if that many of the effects are practical or if they're CG. I believe most of them are CG, to be honest, but I'm not 100% sure. I haven't done full research on that part yet. But overall, I have to say, I really love this movie. I almost forgot to mention one character that I'm going to spoil for you guys that everyone needs to know. Beware the claw of justice. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Lobster Johnson is in the movie. I had to spoil it for you guys. I don't care if you hate me. Sorry. But overall, this movie, I loved it. It had the right hit of comedy, the right little hits of horror, the right sci-fi aspect, nice action aspect. It was amazing, and it did right. It did right. Now, the downfalls, in my personal opinion, are 2 things. Mainly just 2 things. One, Hellboy's look. I don't really like the super long hair where it's all shaggy and like that, and the face is more of a rougher design. I don't mean like rough as in like it looks rough. I mean like I don't like how misshapen his face looks, how more demonic he looks. I wanted more of a human, more semi-human aspect, but I can deal with it. It was still a cool look. As for the other thing that I wasn't a big fan of, and the whole relationship plays up into the movie, of course, but is Ian McShane as Trevor Broomhall. I did not like his performance, mainly because that wasn't Broomhall to me. It was more of a military version of him, but it's not something I really, really liked. I personally still like John Hurt's version and how he played the character. Now, of course, they're going to change characters per movie, and they do that with all kinds of characters. I have to say, I do personally like John Hurt's version, but that really doesn't really hurt my overall feeling towards the movie. Ian McShane did do a really good job. I just didn't get the whole father-son vibe. I got more of the... If he was, he'd be more that 70s badass father who really tried to toughen his kid up through, like, beating his ass and stuff like that, calling him his names, trying to toughen him up through, like, stuff like that. But overall, I loved the movie. It was amazing. That's why I actually saw it opening weekend. This was the one I was hyped for. I bypassed Shazam. I still am hyped for Avengers Endgame. But overall, I give this movie a 9 out of 10. Those two little nitpicks are probably the only things I get bad to say about the movie, and those aren't even that bad. So overall, I loved it. It was amazing. You guys need to go out and check it out. Period. You need to check it out. If you're a Hellboy fan, you will love this. Like I said, it feels like a Hellboy comic. The pacing is amazing. It just click, 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 boom, click, 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 boom. It just, all the moments, you just, it's so hard to sit there and explain to people sometimes what a movie would do when you find a character you love and it hits all the right moments. It's hard to explain because you're just hyped about it. So that's really what I have to say about the movie, guys. I loved it. It's a 9 out of 10. Go ahead and check me out on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, BigJaySaiyan, all three places. I'm going to be going ahead and dropping some new stuff on Instagram, some new trailers coming up for some stuff, and some new videos here on YouTube. And just, I can't wait. I'm now getting more hyped for Endgame because this is the best topper to ascend to Endgame. We got, Hellboy kicking it off, then me and Mr. Spock are going to be going to a Comic-Con at the end of April, right the day after Avengers Endgame comes out, and then I'm gonna see Endgame the day after. So I'm gonna see it on Sunday, the 28th. So I'm gonna have a huge Comic-Con, which you guys are gonna see some pictures on Instagram of who I'm gonna meet and everything like that. But I'm gonna give you a little hint there. They're the Power Rangers. What? I didn't hear you. Power Rangers. Some of the original cast of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, you have the Red Ranger, Jason. You have the Black Ranger, Zach. You have the Yellow Ranger, and then we have Zordon. Karen Ashley, Yellow Ranger. Austin St. John and Walter Jones and David Fleming, Zordon. So that's awesome. You get to see them. Plus, we get to see a few wrestling legends that I love. Animal, Road Warrior, Animal will be there. He's not a legend yet, but Matt Stryker's going to be there. We'll have the wrestling legend, Christopher Daniels there, Kazarian there, Scorpio Sky there. So there's a few other people that might be there, but that's going to be awesome. I'm going to try to get photos with each and every one of them. So I cannot wait, but I hope you guys like this review. Go ahead and follow me, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, like, subscribe, and as always, guys, bye for everyone. Peace.